Hello everyone, my name is Case Duckworth. I work for the East Baton Rouge Parish Library Career Center, and today I'm going to show you how to apply to a job at Walmart. We're going to use their website, walmart.com, and we're going to be using the Google Chrome web browser, and we're also going to check our email at one point. So if I were you, I'd recommend, if you're following along, going ahead and signing in your email now. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go up here to the address bar. We're going to type in walmart.com. And here's Walmart's page. Let's see here. Now we don't want to buy anything. We don't want to reorder anything. So we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Most of the time when you're looking for a job at a company, you want to scroll down to the bottom of their page. And they usually have a jobs or careers link. Here it is. So we're going to click on that. And now here's their careers page. Now here's the thing about Walmart. While preparing for this video, I've done this process a few times. And this right here is actually something that is done later on in the process too. So if you know you want a job at Walmart and you don't care exactly which store it is, then I would go ahead up here to the login. And then we can decide which one we want to log in for. So do you want to do supply chain work? That's stuff like driving trucks, working warehouses, that kind of thing. There's corporate, which is, the corporate side of it, the big office buildings. I'm sure they probably do marketing campaigns or that kind of stuff there. There's Sam's Club, which is their big bulk convenience store thing. And then there's Walmart, good old fashioned just Walmart. And within Walmart, there's hourly stuff like, stocking or cashiering or cleaning. And then there's management, which is people, who make the schedules, who do that kind of stuff. So we're going to apply to an hourly job. So click right there. And here's a disclaimer. This is fairly standard legal stuff. Basically, it's just saying that you are 18, that it's an equal opportunity employer, that they're going to verify the information you tell them, which you should always tell the truth on a application because it can come back to bite you. That it's alcohol and drug free, and that everything you say is correct. So that's all that this says. It does say there's one weird little thing in here that they have a text message program, so they might text you. If you have a mobile plan where texting, you can only get a few a month or something, then you might want to think about that. But otherwise, everything is pretty standard. So if you agree, click I agree, and then we can hit continue. Now, this is the big hiring center page. We can't log in yet. We haven't made a account. So we're going to click this little do not have an account, click create account. So let's click that create account button. Okay, so here we are on the hiring center create an account page. And so we need to put in our email address right here. So the email address we're using is a guy named Jared Public. His email is gqpublic225@gmail.com. Obviously, you put your own email address in this section. And then we need to make up a password for Walmart. Now, the thing about passwords is you can use the same one for multiple different things, but the multiple different things aren't going to know that it's the same. So like if you change your password, say with your email address, Walmart's not going to know that you changed your password. So they're going to still want the password you were using before. You can change it with them too, probably. But again, just remember that they're different, even though they can look the same, everything is different. And sometimes they have different requirements as well. Let's see what these are. These are the requirements right here. Password must be 8 to 11 characters long and contain at least one numeric, that's 0 through 9, one upper and one lowercase alphabetic character. So the alphabetic characters are the letters of the alphabet, A through Z, and uppercase and lowercase are, the big letters and the small letters. So let's make up a password. Now, if you want to see the password, you can click this show button right here, and then you can see the very good, this is not a good password, don't put this password, but you can see the password that you put in. I'm going to uncheck that box so that I can enter in a password, and y'all won't try to sign in as Jared Public. Let's see, so my password is too long, so I'm going to try that again. Let's see. There we go. All right. And you can see, I don't know if you were paying attention, but if you weren't feel free to rewind a little bit and watch this part again. There was a little, so like right here, there's a little error box right here. This says fields must match. That's because the bottom password didn't match the top one. There's other ones, like if it's too long or too short, that's in there. But once there's nothing there, then you can hit this create account button. So we're going to create the account. All right, now they've sent us an email at our email address. This is a good idea to go ahead and open up a new window or tab with your email. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to this tab right here, our Gmail tab, and we're going to find our email. Here it is. Please verify your account. And then it just says, please click here to continue your application. So let's click there. Okay, now we can sign in using our freshly minted Walmart Jobs application sign in. So going to do our trusty email address, and then we're going to type in our password and then sign in. Okay, it says it should take 25 to 30 minutes, so let's begin. All right, now this is the part where you're going to enter in all your personal information, your work history information, stuff like that. Things to think about with this section are these little red asterisks right here. You see this little teeny tiny red star here and here. That means that these fields are required. That means you have to put something in those fields for you to be able to continue on with this. But then there's other ones like this middle initial that they don't need. See, there's no red star. That means it's optional field. So you don't have to fill this in. But yeah. Let's see. Also, another thing is you can click from field to field like this. You see this, it kind of gets blue down here at the bottom, and you can do that. Or you can do something, this is what I like to do, you can hit the tab key on your keyboard. That is the key right above the caps lock key on the far left side. And if you just hit tab, you see how now it's going the same thing. You see how it's moving from field to field here? And that makes it a lot easier and a lot faster to type. So that's what I'm going to do. But again, do whatever you feel is best. Middle initials Q, last name public. He lives at the library. It's not East Baton Rouge Public Library Road, it's Goodwood Boulevard. There it is. And you can see here this little drop down, it kind of finds it for you, and then you can just click on that and it'll automatically fill it out for you. So that's kind of handy. Now, mobile number. Let's see, for the mobile number, we're going to use the Career Center's website, or the Career Center's number. This is obviously not a number you'd want to use. But yeah, so fill in your phone number there. It's how they can get in touch with you. If you have another phone number, like your home number, or if you have a significant other whose number you might want to use or something like that, you can put an alternate contact number there. And then they're going to ask, okay, so they're not asking if you're older than 18. This is for legal purposes. So just be honest, are you less than 16, 16 or 17, and we're 18 or older. And we are not currently a student, but if you are, click the appropriate thing. So yeah. Let's see, if you are mostly proficient in the Spanish language, you'd click here, but Jared Public mostly knows English, so he clicks there. Now we need to fill out our social security number. This is one of those things, you want to keep it secret, so I'm not going to show you what the social security number that we actually fill out is, just use your own. But if you need to make sure that you're typing it in right, you can click on this I right here, and then you can type it in. So you can see it, you unclick the I, and it goes into these dots. It's the same thing on the back end, but that's just so that people who are looking over your shoulder, who are streaming this online, can't see what we're typing. And when you're done, we're going to click this box that says provided information is true and accurate. All right. And then they have some additional information. Now you'd notice none of these except for this last one have that red star, but it's questions like how much experience have you had in a retail sales position, how much experience. So you probably want to answer these if you've had any experience in retail sales, grocery, warehouse, or manufacturing. So for Jared, let's say that he's had 3 to 5 years in retail sales, but no experience in grocery. He did warehouse for a year, but he hasn't done any manufacturing. And this is another very important question. and this is required. Are you looking for full-time, part-time, temporary, either full-time or part-time, or anything? So be honest here. I'm sure it's gonna, it's one of those things where if you're looking for a full-time job, click full-time job. That's what Jerry's looking for. He doesn't want a temporary job that then, 3, 4 months down the road, he's gonna have to do all this again. So, and then this right here, can we submit documentation verifying your identity and legal right to work in the US? The easy way to figure this one out is if you were born in the US, then the answer is yes. If you have a green card, the answer is yes. Otherwise, I don't think we can tell you over this video because your situation is going to depend on a number of factors. So in that case, if you're not sure, ask around. You can come in and see us and maybe we can help you. But yeah, so Jared was born in the US, so he's going to hit yes. And this is kind of similar. If you hit yes on this question, then you can hit no on this question. Otherwise, it's going to depend on your situation. So if you know the answer, that's great. If not, try to find someone who can. You can search on Google. You can come in and see us. You can call the library. We can try to help you out. But yeah, that's definitely beyond the scope of this video. So when you're done with all that, click next. And this is their equal opportunity box. This is kind of their survey for that. You do have to answer all these questions, these stars, but I think, yeah, all these questions have an I don't wish to provide bubble. So if you don't want to tell Walmart whether you're female or male, you can hit don't wish to provide. If you don't want to tell Walmart what your race is, you can hit don't wish to provide. It's okay if you do. That's up to you. It's totally your choice. But yeah, so for us, we're going to say don't wish to provide. Click next. All right, now a very important part, the employment history. This is where we're going to type in, oh yes, these are all the past jobs that I've had. You see that Walmart's very helpful. They want to know all positions you've held during the last 6 years. So if this is 2020, that means back to 2014. If you're applying for an hourly driver position within a distribution center, they need 10 years of employment history. So that would be back to 2010. So depending on what job you're applying for, you'll need one of those two. But we'll just do one to show you how it's done, and then you can do the rest on your own. So what you're going to do, we're going to click this big pink plus button on add a new job entry. And then let's see. So he worked in retail for 3 to 5 years. I think that's what we said. And so he worked actually at a Levi's outlet. So we worked for Levi's. The industry was, and this is where you just kind of we're gonna have to go through and just look because Walmart came up with all of these. So just go through and whatever one sounds best. So for Levi's, that's general retail. So we'll go to retail general. Position title, he was just a team member. And then they'll need your start date. And you see down here, they have an example. Well, maybe this one will show it. Yeah. So right here, they have an example. This is month and then year, separated by a slash. So it's okay if you don't know that whether you started on, say, April 3rd or April 5th. As long as you know you started in April, that's okay. So that's what we'll do. We'll do April. He started in April 2014, and he worked there until just last month, which was June 2020. So that's all that. Again, just put that in yourself. If you're not sure about your start or end dates, you can always try calling your employer. You can try calling the IRS because they'll have your W-2s. Or if you have your old pay stubs from previous years, you can try looking at those or your old tax returns. I think you can also call the Workforce Commission in Louisiana. They should be able to tell you as well. So there's a couple different options. But yeah, do try to figure out when this is, and they want to know. Now you notice this end date is not required. That's because if you're still working there, which you could be, the best time to look for a job is when you currently have a job. You just leave this blank, and that's no problem. So let's actually leave it blank. We'll change our minds. We pretend that that Jared is still working at Levi's and he just wants to move over to Walmart. So then we have to put in our category here. We got lucky that apparel starts with A, but yeah, just kind of go through here, and that's where you're going to want to try to figure out best to your ability. What was your job of these? What was it most like? So yeah, apparel, accessories, and then it's going to have a subcategory, which is going to depend on this main category. So let's say if instead it was home automotive, you see this changes out the options here. But yeah, so apparel, and we did apparel, shoes. And then there's this reason for leaving. If there's no little red star and there's not one on this, I would recommend just not answering it. This is usually just a great place for a gotcha question on their part. If there is a red star, try to make it positive. Um, you could say something like, looking for more opportunities, or, need a better schedule. You don't want to say something like, I'm looking to get paid more, or, I was fired. Stuff like that's not a great idea to put in there. And if you don't, and again, if you don't have to put anything in there at all, I honestly wouldn't. So once you're done, you can hit save. And that saves your one job history. Whenever you want to add another one, you can click this plus and add another one. Or if you want to add a license or certificate, you can also click there. So that'll be things like, let's see, if you have your respiratory certification, brake certification, food manager certification, if you're a gemologist, all that kind of stuff. Jared doesn't have any of those, so he's going to hit back. We're not going to add one, but this is just good for you to know if you do have those certifications, because especially the jobs that require a certification for, you definitely want to add that to your application here. So whenever you're done, you can click this. I agree that employment history and qualification information entered is accurate to the best of my knowledge. Check on that. And then you see the next button got blue, so we can click on it. And now we have a little military experience questionnaire. Notice too, but again, both of these are required, but you do have these I don't wish to provide bubbles, which is what we're going to click, but you can click whatever you prefer. Honestly, obviously be honest. So, if you didn't, don't hit yes, or if you did, don't hit no. But that's why we have this I do not wish to provide button right here. So that's why we're clicking that. And then we're just going to click next. And this part's very important. This is so we can schedule our availability for Walmart. This is where you want to make sure that you're honest, because these times that you say you're available are when they're going to schedule you for if you get hired. So like, if you like having your Saturdays off, I know I do, then say that you're not available on Saturday. If you need to pick up your kids from school, then you don't need to work past about 2:30 Monday through Friday. Of course, things are a little different now that it's COVID and your kids may be schooling from home or whatever, but you see what I'm saying. So let's see, we're just gonna do a kind of a standard for Jared. We're just gonna do kind of a 9 to 5. So you can see here, this is called a drop-down menu. So you can click on the arrow, or you can click anywhere on this thing. So whenever your cursor is a little hand, that means you can click. And we're going to scroll down here. I mean, because remember too, Walmart's open all day, every day. So they have 12 a.m. all the way to 11 p.m. But we're just going to click on 9 a.m. and we're last available at 5 p.m. And we're just going to go through every day and we're going to say the same thing, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Oh, yeah, this one I made a mistake, 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. That's not quite right. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And Saturday and Sunday, I want to have my weekends off. So that's what we're going to do. If you're available to work overnights, check this box. And then when you're done, go ahead and click by selecting, you're agreeing that these are the time frames you're expected to be available if hired. So again, that's where they're expecting you to say, yes, I can work from 3 to 4:30 on Wednesday, or yes, I can work from 10 to 2 on Friday, because that's within the time. So just make sure that, like, really think through the times you're available, so that whenever they hire you and say, okay, we have your first shift, you won't have to say, oh, no, wait, I can't work then. Okay. And click next. And then this is for the, it's a tax program. I forget what it's called, but this is basically just where you're going to answer these questions to the best of your ability. So yeah, so have you received any type of government assistance? Next. Okay, there you go. All right, and this is where we're going to look for the actual locations where we want to get a job in. So let's see, we want to work in the Walmart store. And I'm going to do it by zip code because that's easier for me. But if you want to go through and pick out, Louisiana and then Baton Rouge, you can. I'm just going to do 70806. And then you can select a range. We don't want to drive too far, so we're going to keep down to 5. But you can go all the way up to 100 miles if you're willing to drive that far. That's up to you. So hit search. All right, so here's all the ones we have. Let's see, it looks like there's one in Cortana Place. That's 2.4, that's 2 miles away. That's good, I can go there. Yep, that's good. But now the one on Highland Road is over 4 miles away. And I know how hard it is to get down there with the traffic and all. I don't want to worry about that one. And you know what, the Old Hammond one, I can pick that one out too. But the other two, they're too far away. So whichever ones you can check these check boxes and you can select multiple ones. And I would recommend doing that because then you're going to cast as wide a net as you can. So you can see what options they have. When you're ready, click next. And then we're going to look at the jobs I have available. Let's see. Now you can apply for these jobs even if there aren't any available with Walmart because they have such high turnover in their stores. And they'll keep your application on file. And then if one comes up and they say, oh, this person looks good, then they might contact you. So, if you want to work as a cashier, there's a lot of cashier jobs right now that are available. But like if you want to work in the lawn and garden center and there's 0 jobs there, you can still check on that. And your name will be in the system for the lawn and garden center. But yeah, so I think all that Jared wants to do is the front end cashier. So we just check those 2. And you see here it says selected. So we selected a few in there. Let's see, anything else? No. So let's just apply for these jobs here. So we're going to click apply for these jobs. All right, now we have to take an assessment. There's another thing about Walmart, we have to take an assessment before we can do that. So let's go ahead and take our assessment. And this is going to be the part where I'm not going to be able to help you through too much of this because you have to do it yourself. But I can show you what I can show you. So this is actually most of the job that we already did. We already mostly finished our application because we filled out our contact information, our demographic information, our past jobs information, and the assessment is basically just the first thing past. So we actually filled out our application. This is just extra stuff for Walmart because they get so many applications every day. So I'm just going to take this. Let's see. So if you have a disability where it's going to make it hard for you to take this assessment, you can call them at this number. But again, that's something that you would know better than me. And then if you want to read their terms of use and privacy policy, they have links here. You can click on them. And then they also want to know what kind of device. I'm using a laptop computer, but you might be using a phone or a tablet. So click whatever you're clicking, or click whatever you're using because it's going to change depending on what you're using. So, okay, here's our retail associate assessment. And make sure, okay, so it's going to take 15 minutes. We need to be in a distraction-free environment and be open and honest. So, okay, so first thing they're going to do is they're going to want to, there's basically like a personality assessment. So you're going to have to look at the scenario, and then you're going to have to read these responses and pick which response you'd be most likely to do and which response you'd be least likely to do. Now you're only picking the 2 responses, the one that you're most likely and the one that you're least likely to do. It is a little complicated, but I can walk you through the first one. And once you hit next, you cannot go back. There's no time limit, but we should work quickly because they probably do time them. So here we go. Okay, during a busy time at the bakery counter, a loyal customer stops you to chat. As he's talking, you notice another customer nearby that needs help. So we have to go through here. Let's see. Would we tell him that you'd be happy to continue talking to him right after you help the other customer? Apologize and tell him you see another customer member that needs your help? Allow him to continue his story till he's finished, or interrupt to ask if there's anything you can help him with today. So again, remember that customers he's only stopped to chat. The other person needs help. So what would you do? You click here and here, or here and here. You see, you're just going to click which one you're most likely to answer and the one you're least likely to do. But again, I'm going to stop and then I'll be back. Okay, and we're back at the assessment. Now this is going to be, because it's a cashier job, you're going to need to be able to make change. So this is where, in this little example, this is going to be the best I can do. So if a customer owes $16.50 and pays $20 in cash, they tell you how much change is due. That's $3.50. And then we're going to want to provide the amount owed using the smallest number of bills and coins possible. So you have your bills, 20, 10, 5, and 1, quarter, dime, nickel, and penny. So basically you need to figure out what's the bills and coins that gives change of $3.50 and is the smallest number. So to do that, let's see. So you see we did $3 and then 2 quarters makes 50 cents. So you click on that. And there you go. We can use a calculator. It'll work quickly and accurately, and this they're definitely timing you on, so be as quick as you can. And I can show you this one. Let's see. Okay, so 39.49. That'll be 120, 110. Okay, and we're back again. Like it's going to be in lieu of a cover letter for most jobs. They're going to want you to just talk about the work experiences and background of who you are in a kind of a test environment. So it looks like we can only go back one question this time. Should take about 5 minutes, and once we respond, we'll automatically advance. So this is different than the previous two where you had to click next. Whenever you click the button, it'll automatically take you to the next one. I'll show you the first few, but then you'll have to do the rest on your own, okay? Most recent employer, we were there for about 10 years, remember? And then how much experience do we have responding to customer questions? All right, and now we're back. And now we are wanting to learn about our work style. So let's see what this is. Okay, so this is going to be, they're going to give you 2 questions and you're going to click one. And I think this automatically advances as well. Oh, actually they give you 4 answers, I'm sorry. And then, so you have that I'm viewed as very spontaneous, I'm viewed as very careful. And then if you are very spontaneous, you hit most like me. If you're kind of spontaneous, you hit somewhat like me. If you're somewhat careful instead, you hit this. Or if you're very careful, you hit most like me. And that's kind of, they're going to take you through a few of those. Let's see. Again, you'll automatically advance on this one. We're going to think about it in terms of work situations, again, because they only care about your work life. I'm sure, you know, Walmart people are nice people, but really the company only cares about what you're going to be doing at the company. So just keep that in mind as you do this. Here we go. Okay, so look, we've completed the retail associate assessment. Good job. And now after this, they're going to want you to kind of give them some feedback, fill out a little survey. And this is, you know, this is your standard kind of survey. Okay, and then that's it. And then we can just click exit. So look, that also says, look for an email communication about the jobs. So, and I think that's about it. Let's see what else we have here. All right, so look down here. You should know immediately whether you passed the assessment or not. Look, we passed, so good job. If you didn't, that's okay. You can go apply for another job. But yeah, so that's applying to Walmart 101. And I hope you had a good time and learned a lot. And best of luck out there in your job search, okay? And take care.